and got groceries and stuff. So this is the route I take back. It's a lot more smoother because it's sidewalk, and it's not bad. A lot of car noise though. But yeah, I got what I needed. So now I'm going back. Back to the casa. Cristo te ama. Cristo te ama. See what I mean? Religious rhetoric. That's what that van says. Cristo te ama. Anyway, so let's get back to that idea again. So when Jesus announced to the Nicodemus that night, let's go back to Romans. Let's deal with Romans still. Okay, so there's none that understands. Let's see how it goes. There's none that does good, no, not one. There's none that understands. There's none that seek. None that look. Well, and then this is hard to see. This is really hard to fathom, if you will. This is really hard to grasp. And the reason being is because I gotta go this way. Oh, no trespassing. I guess I'll go this way. Anyway, oh wow. I've never seen a sign blow down. Huh. Someone's gonna get in trouble. Crazy. It's first time I've ever seen that happen. Anyway, so there's none understanding, none together God. They are all together become unprofitable. Their throat is an open sepulchre. Okay. So when we're born on this earth in the flesh, we're born dead. Period. I know many want to get into the idea of it. Let's switch hands because my hand's getting kind of hurt a little bit. Anyway, so many get into the idea of it. So now I'm on my way home. This is my straight through trek. I just go straight down this line. Look, they got little tracks here in the ground or in the thing. If I had one of those little train cars, I'd be on it. But anyway, so there is none that understandeth. There is none that seeketh after God. And so here, when we're born in the flesh, we are born dead. Okay? When in the garden, when Satan said to them, when God said to them, don't eat of it or you shall surely die. Satan told her, oh, you shall not surely die. Now, you're not going to agree with this, but I'm going to say it. In a sense, he was right. Because it didn't happen to the extent of what could have. Because when you think about it, God is all powerful. I mean, there's none, the highest of the high, they call him. The word of God calls God the highest, the most high. And an image of him also is in that implication. So it is impossible, if you will, for an image of God to die. Isn't that funny? Because if we die of natural causes, it takes its time and eventually we fade out. Or if we die instantly, it's got to be something horrendous. The impact of the situation must be heavy for us to die. You know what I mean? It's just because, in other words, the impact has to be tremendous. Whether it be a bullet, whether we get smashed, it's got to be something intense. You know what I mean? For us to die. And so Here, when Satan told her that, you shall not surely die. I mean, they bit and they didn't drop dead immediately. Now, I know there's a lot of teachings about that, of why that happened. No, but we died. We died right then and there. All right? So, when we're dead, we can't see, we can't hear, And so, when the Bible talks about that, there's none that understands, there's none that seeks. How can someone seek if they can't see? The initial word see is in seek. So you got to be able to see to seek. So I'll say it like this. We're born deaf. We're born blind. We're born maimed, if you will. See, when that guy was sick of the palsy, that means he could not move. Okay? He could not move at all. And, no movement, no progression. And most of us would have seen that guy and felt sorry for him or her if they're in that condition. And when you think about it in your own life, you lay that way for at least 8 hours when you sleep. Think about that. No movement at all. None. Okay. So, here, the fact that, the fact that they can't see, they can't, none of that. Well, that fits in right with they don't seek, they don't understand, they are unprofitable. They are together, all together become unprofitable. That's what it says. And there's nothing to, I'm reading right now Ecclesiastes, and it talks about everything that's vain. Everything that is vain. Vain. One part that he says in there that got me a bit, he says, it's better, an untimely birth is better than a man that lived all his life here on the earth. That's heavy duty. Better is those that never been than someone to be here and see all the evils that are here on the earth. That's what he says. It's like, wow. You would think that kind of glum would be, as they say, depression, which, yeah, whatever. But it's the truth. Sometimes in our lives, it's like we put an amazing effort and nothing comes about from it. It feels that way sometimes. And people are so programmed, and I'll say it in the church, in the religious realm, they're so programmed that they basically just smile and everything's good and everything's not good. Period. But that's how they see things. That's how they look at things. That's how they, And so, here, if we can't see, if we're dead, born in the flesh, if you will, and that's how Romans describes it. Look it up for yourself again. Romans 3:10 through 18. It says, with the poison of asp. Okay, here's where I work. I go that way in the morning. All that way. Past those green lights. Way down there. That's where I work. When I come this way in the morning. But that's how it looks during the daytime, which is nice. Because it's bright and shiny. Anyway, I gotta switch hands again. So, oops. Sorry, I'm just gonna grab my bag with my other hand. And here we go. Okay. So, I gotta get sugar. That's right, I forgot sugar. And I'll make a roast tonight. Anyway, how do I do it? How do I say this? Okay, I'll say it. Poisonous on their lips, their mouth is full of curse and bitterness. And it's so true. You know? It is so true. We may not notice it because we're so used to it, you know? But that's what's involved. And it's, remember this now, because we do this. I don't know why we do this, but in that church realm, we always put it in the right or wrong column, which is silly. Because it's got nothing to do with that. It's got nothing to do with that. You know? So Romans 3:10 talks about the condition of mankind. 10 through 18. They are all together being unprofitable. There's none that do good on that one. With their tongues they have used deceit. The poison of asp is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness, and the way of peace have they not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Okay. So when it says that there, look at the sun. Woohoo, the sun. Anyway, when it says that there, when it actually says that, you know, it's talking about 100. And I know, because you got all these folks that smile all the time, just lovingly and blah, blah, blah. And I met many of them, you know. Many of them I have met. I mean, a whole bunch of them. Left and right, up and down, all around. I have met. And it's not good. It's fake. And I'll tell you that straight up. It's fake. They do it because the Bible says to. They do it because Jesus did. They do it for show. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. You know how many of those rascals I've met that say, I love you. And then when it comes time to show it, they gone. Really. Honestly, that's the truth. Which I don't blame them. You know, it's just so sad. Because they can't grasp it. They can't really grasp the fact that they're so fake. You know? Anyway. So, that being the condition of mankind, you know, it's also in Romans chapter 1, you know, it talks about being full of unrighteousness. You know, it talks about being disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers. All those things that it talks about is talking about mankind in the flesh. So, nothing comes good of the flesh. Period. So then, again, back in John chapter 3, when Jesus talks to Nicodemus, or rather, Nicodemus talks to Jesus, and Jesus is floored by this guy. Because Nicodemus is a master. I mean, he's a master. He knows the ins and outs. He knows all. And that's why I'm shocked. I go to some of these places, you know, and there's generations of churchgoers in there. And you get in there and you start talking to them about truth, and they have no idea who God is. Don't get me wrong. They know their pastor. They know the scheduled service times. They know the special events. They know their religious doctrine. They know their denomination. They know how to sit in that pew they love so much, where their butt indentation is there and they slide right in. They know all that. But when it comes to God, they have no idea. No idea. Okay, I'm going to switch again one more time. This bag's a little heavy. About a few things. Anyway, so here, Jesus is shocked at this guy because it talks about him coming to Jesus at night. And he comes to Jesus and he tells him, we know you're from God. You know, we know it. There it goes again, see? And if that's not a meth car or a drug car, I don't know what is, bro. Wow, full of stuff. Anyway, so, here, he has no idea, excuse me. Come to him by night, says, we don't know you're a man of God, for no man can do the things that those do except God be. Now, notice how he recites that. And he recites it in a way that is, prevalent, that appears sure, that appears, well, this guy must know what he's talking about, because he gives that statement, and he says it. No man can do the things that you do except God is with him. That's what he says, 100%. And when he talks like that, you hear most church people talk like that. And here Jesus, if you will, is God in the flesh, and he has no idea. No idea whatsoever. None. Crazy. All that time in, Sabbath, all that time reading the Torah, reading the old law, reading the prophets somewhat. They didn't like reading the prophets too much, because if you read the prophets, it talks against them, and they don't like that. They hate that. They don't like reading those parts. Like most churchgoers, they don't like reading some of that Bible because it talks against them, and, well, that's not me. Anyway, so the guy goes, and Jesus doesn't even reference what he just said. He didn't even reference that at all. He didn't even, if you will, because, again, that's the religious rhetoric, and listen, just try it sometime, and listen to yourself sometime too, hear the stuff that comes out of you. Just try it once. Actually write it down and read it. You'll be like, oh my God, I say those things honestly, because that's the rhetoric. It's got to be of God, that kind of stuff. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you know that. Like in James it says, thou believest there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. Hello. You see? So this rhetoric that he's spouting, I think and this is how the attitude is. I think I got one hand up on everyone else because I recognized it. Okay. And that's what every church-going religious person believes. That because they say the name of Jesus, they got one up on everyone else. I'm going to make heaven my home because I believe in Jesus. And that's what their attitude shows that they're a little bit more special just because they go to church. They're just a tiny bit more, got an edge above everyone else because they believe in Jesus. And that's not the case. Okay? So when Jesus introduces born again to this guy, he's shocked. And he references it to the flesh, like every churchgoer does. References right to the flesh. Because Jesus tells him, you must be born again. He did not say, you must recite this prayer. They call it the sinner's prayer. You will not find that in the Word of God. That's a man-made thing. I'm going to tell you that right now. That is a man-made idea. And there's a lot of people born again in the brain, not in the spirit, as a result of those words. And I'm going to tell you that straight up. Don't get me wrong. They go to church. Don't get me wrong. Some of them quit cussing, quit drinking, quit smoking, quit, pornography and all that junk. And they get pride in that too. Oh, I quit drinking. I hilariously kind of laugh at these guys when they say that to me, some of them. Oh, I quit drinking. I quit cussing. I quit smoking. I said, well, they did that in the cemetery too. You're doing nothing different than a dead person. Think about it. And so here, when Jesus tells him, you must be, and he does it, he says this, and it's logical. How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born again? And be born. And Jesus cuts it right to him. That which is born of the flesh is flesh. There's your one identity right there. Then he says this too. That which is born of the Spirit is spirit. And then Jesus went on to say, marvel not. Oh, this is pretty cool, little bridge. Marvel not that I said unto thee, you must be born again. And he told him, don't be shocked at that. Don't be, if you will, amazed by that. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Every one of us, if you will, partook of the born in the flesh. Okay? And a lot of us do believe that it happened because we're here. All right? A lot of us, if you will, all of us, did not have anything to do with it. You get that? A lot of us, most of us, every one of us, didn't have anything to do with us being born in the flesh. Okay? I can't stress that enough. I can't emphasize that enough. I can't, if you will, shout it from the housetops enough. None of us had anything to do with it. Being born in the flesh, we had no power. We did not will ourselves to be born in the flesh. We did not tell our parents to meet. We didn't tell our mom, hey mom, that dude is cute. Go mate with him so I could be born and be a good looking kid. We didn't say that. Thank God we didn't either. Because nobody would have been good enough on our behalf, if you will. You know, because we do think highly of ourselves. Anyway, so none of us had the power, if you will, to be born in the flesh. We had nothing to do with it. I'm going to give you the scenario. I know we like to think of it different ways because there's pictures on the wall and there's family gatherings and there's Christmas time where we get presents and all that stuff that we have memories of. Some of them aren't good. Some of us got beat by our parents. Some of us were neglected. Okay, so I'm not going to go in that scenario yet. But let's just give you the scenario of it before you or I or anyone else in this generation was around. Here's how it happened. Two strangers from different sides of the world met. And that's how it had to be. It had to be two strangers that met. Okay? It had to be two people that knew nothing about each other. And somehow they met. And they didn't even have power over that. You know, it just happened, if you will. Thank God there's no formula to love, because mankind would ruin it. Anyway, so these two strangers met, and the attraction was there. However, and I know there's all kinds of ways that it happens, don't get me wrong. You know, whether they met in a bar, a church, family function. I don't mean inbreeding, I just mean maybe somebody invited a stranger or a friend of theirs, and that's, you know, that kind of stuff. Met at a library, met at a park, met online, stuff like that. Okay. So these two strangers met, and they go, and the attraction is there, and they had no power over that either. They had no power over that attraction. It was just like, bam, who's this? Bam, this is here. Bam, this is what happened. Sorry, I'm dropping my stuff here. Changing hands again, because I gotta put this on the ground for a second. Sorry, it might have went off a little bit. Sorry about that. I'll just call it a special effect. Anyway, hit the ground running. No. Anyway, so then the attraction is there, and if you will, the man enters the woman. That's just the way it is. I know I preached that one time in church, and one of the pastors got mad and uncomfortable, and I'm like, bro, all of us are here as a result of that. Period. All of us on this earth are here as a result of a man entering a woman. I mean, that's just, I'm sorry. If you feel kind of uncomfortable, it's on a phone anyway, but it's not intended to be that way, but that's what happened. Sexual intercourse took place for every one of us that are listening, that are on this earth, to be here, okay? Now, we start out so small, we're not even visible to the naked eye. We're not at all. That's how small and insignificant we start out. Isn't that crazy? And it's kind of interesting. Again, you have no control over this. You're still not control over this. You still have no control over it. Okay, you still don't have any say in it. The cells start expanding and doubling up, and that's how it goes. And all of a sudden, you start forming, and you have no control over that either. You start forming, you're in the womb. The person that's carrying you, which is your mother, has no control over that. I know, and I like to say abortion and all that stuff, but I'm talking to the people that are here, so nobody had control over that, because you're here and I'm here, and there you go. Anyway, oh boy, I'm almost here, so I'm going to cut it off right now. I'll continue on a little bit later. You guys have a good night. Farewell. Did it go? It's live. Let's see, can we stop it? Nick. Oh, I better say hi. I'm sorry for not saying hi. Well, I guess I can still do it. I'll say hi. Give me a second here. How do I say hi? You can tell I haven't done this much before. I think people are saying hi. I don't know. But I'm coming to my apartments now. I shall enter in. I don't know how to say hi though. How do you say hi? Let's see here. Am I going to be able to say hi? I don't know. Huh. Odd. It is live. I just don't know how to stop it. Huh. Is that? I don't want to touch anything because I might mess it up. Oh, there we go. I think that's right. Continue. I don't want to do chat filter. Okay, maybe I do that there. Print. Oh, geez, I don't know how to do this. I better stop. Okay, how do I stop the live? Anyway, I'll continue on then. Okay, so two strangers meet. Here's where I stay. Here's my apartments. Here they be. So now I have to go this way because I am going home. I'm going home, if you will. I gotta stop this. Give me a second here. Yeah, hi. I don't know how to respond, so I apologize for that, but I'm trying to stop it right now. Okay, does it say it on there? I totally don't get this. Hi, bro. Hi. Hi, whoever you are, Nick, everybody. Ana Romero, hi. I'm gonna try and I'll continue on in a second. Let me just stop this for now because I got to go to my apartment and I'm trying to. Darn it! I'll figure it out somehow. Oh, there we go. Maybe that's it. No. Uh, Start a poll. I don't know how to stop this. Oh, maybe that's it. No, that's not. Okay, that's it. Yes, I'm gonna stop streaming. Okay.